You're like, oh, she's going to want to eat soon. Let me go grab myself a bite to eat, go to the bathroom, grab my glass of water, and get myself set up so I can sit down and feed her. And by the time you're ready to sit down, within 3 minutes, she's already advanced to screaming and yelling. What I want you to do in this situation is stop trying to force her. Hey, Mama Bear. Welcome to the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast. Do you dream of bonding with your baby through exclusive breastfeeding, but worry about breastfeeding pain or low milk supply? Maybe you're struggling with breastfeeding and no one seems to have any answers. I'm Jaimie, doula, international board certified lactation consultant, and mom of 5, and I have been where you are. After working through painful latches, milk supply worries, and postpartum depression, and supporting countless mothers through their breastfeeding journeys for over 8 years, I'm here to tell you breastfeeding doesn't have to be perfect to be positive. Each week, I'll share breastfeeding tips to help you prevent and overcome unexpected breastfeeding challenges so you can actually enjoy bonding with your baby. If you are ready to shut out the toxic whispers of the world, embrace your God-given intuition, and release your inner fierce mama bear, grab some coffee or your favorite herbal tea and let's dive in. Hey Mama Bear, today is another breastfeeding Q&A day. These are always my favorites because I know that y'all have these questions and are looking for answers, and I love to get you answers. So today's question comes from a mom saying, why does my baby pull off the breast and cry during every feeding? Oh my goodness. Those feedings where it feels like you are just fighting your baby and they are battling you every step of the way can leave you wondering, like, does my baby hate breastfeeding? You might even be wondering, does my baby hate me? Is that why she keeps pulling off? Is that why she refuses to latch? Is that why she wants nothing to do with this? I want you to slow down a little bit if that is where you are right now. First of all, I see you. I've been there and I understand why you feel that way. But we need to get out of that brain, our negative self-talk brain, and remember our babies are very primal creatures. They are not trying to manipulate us, and they certainly do not know what hate is. That baby loves you so much, and all she wants is you. The only way she knows how to communicate is crying. So something is hard for her, and she wants you to help her figure out what it is and fix it. And that feels like a lot of responsibility. So let's talk about some of the reasons why your baby might be pulling off and screaming at the breast, not wanting to latch, and you feel like you are battling all the time. Okay, so the first thing that I look at when a mom tells me like the baby just won't stop screaming and won't latch, and she'll latch for like 3 seconds and then pops off again screaming, the first thing I look at is really simple, and it's how soon are we responding to the baby's cue to feed? Sometimes we get really busy or we don't recognize the really early feeding cues, and it's not till the baby's awake and crying that we realize they are hungry and want to eat right now. And it can feel like high pressure. So what I do in this situation is I say, okay, first we need to start trying to recognize these feeding cues early. We want to be proactive. We want to start feeding baby before they're screaming for it, before they're asking for it, before they're even telling us they want it. Let's get to them just a little bit ahead of time. But that's not always reality because sometimes you have more than one kid. Sometimes your baby just wakes up from a nap and is like, holy crap, I'm hungry. Or maybe they started cueing and you're like, oh, she's going to want to eat soon. Let me go grab myself a bite to eat, go to the bathroom, grab my glass of water and get myself set up so I can sit down and feed her. And by the time you're ready to sit down, within 3 minutes, she's already advanced to screaming and yelling. What I want you to do in this situation is stop trying to force her to feed. She's upset and she's not going to latch. So what I want you to do is start settling her down. We're going to use some nervous system techniques to calm her down. One of them is what I call the magic baby hold. You can probably Google magic baby hold. There's a lot of different videos out there on how to do it, but essentially you hold your baby kind of belly down on your arm, the length of your arm. It's like they're straddling by your elbow and your hand is supporting their neck. You pat their back and sway and bounce and sway and bounce. That is my favorite way to calm a baby down so that they're willing to try to latch. If that doesn't work, another thing I love to do is take baby outside. Sometimes just the fresh air, the sunlight, the different scenery can help you both settle down enough for them to be ready to try latching a few minutes later. But sometimes that's not enough, and sometimes it still feels like a battle when you go to feed your baby. So the next thing I want you to consider is the position that you're using and the technique you're using to latch. Are you using forceful latching techniques, or are you working with your baby's design? Inside my Fix Your Latch guide, which you can get as part of the Breastfeeding Success Bundle if you visit littlebearlactation.com/bundle, I actually teach you how your baby's reflexes support feeding and how to work with their reflexes to get a better latch. We go into how to position your baby first so that they are as comfortable as possible, so that they feel supported and so they feel safe. And then we talk about latching techniques that work with your baby instead of against your baby. Sometimes it's just that the way we were taught to breastfeed isn't working for our baby and we need to try something different, and that's okay. Another common reason that babies start screaming at the breast is because they're dealing with reflux. And so this can come back to positioning. Sometimes we need to switch up their position to help them feed in a more upright position so that they are not as uncomfortable when they are experiencing reflux. Now, that gets into a whole other conversation about why are they experiencing reflux and how do we manage that. But what you need to know for this purpose is feeding upright can help them feel more comfortable. The next common reason that moms feel like their baby is screaming and crying at the breast is either they think the milk is drowning the baby, or on the flip side, they think that the baby's not getting enough milk. And usually in either of these situations, it's not the milk supply or the milk flow that is the problem. Rather, it's baby's ability to use their mouth correctly to coordinate sucking, swallowing, and breathing. So if they cannot use their mouth properly to stimulate the milk flow, then they have to work really hard to get that milk. It doesn't mean you don't have enough. It just means that it's hard for them to get it. On the flip side, if it seems like they're drowning and choking at your breast all the time, it could mean that they're having a really hard time coordinating the suck, swallow, breathe pattern, and therefore they're choking on the milk. And their way of trying to fix that is to pull back, to pull away and catch a breath of air. This doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Sometimes it's a coordination issue. Sometimes it's an oral function issue. They can have different causes. It can be tongue tie. It could be other things going on. And so that's why working with a lactation consultant can be really helpful for figuring out why exactly your baby is struggling. But you probably can't get a lactation consultant to come watch your very next feed. So the first thing I want you to do is learn how to start being more proactive with their feedings. Let's not wait too long. Let's try to make sure we're predicting when they're going to want to feed next, and we have things set up so that when they start signaling, we can respond. Baby wearing is a great way to do this because they're close to us. And if you learn how to breastfeed when baby wearing, you don't miss their cues. You can pop them right on the breast and keep on going about what you're going about. The next thing I want you to do is learn how to regulate yours and your baby's nervous system. So if you are spun up, if we did wait too long to get that feeding started, it's not the end of the world. We know how to calm baby down. We learn that magic baby hold. We go outside. We do things that will settle baby down and then reapproach feeding. And then I want you to make sure that you are getting a good, comfortable latch. That means a position that supports your baby. We're not having your baby all twisted up. We make sure their feet are planted. We want them feeling supported and safe. And then we want to work with their reflexes to get a deep latch. Finally, if we're starting to worry that maybe this is a milk flow or milk supply issue, I want you to check out the milk supply guide inside of the Breastfeeding Success Bundle so that you can determine, do you have a milk supply issue or are you just a little paranoid? And that's okay. Many of us are. Most of us are at some point. And then you can make confident and informed decisions from there. So if you are interested in learning more about how to latch your baby, how to make sure you've got a strong milk supply, go ahead and check out that Breastfeeding Success Bundle. You can grab that at littlebearlactation.com/bundle. And if you feel like you need one-on-one guidance, go ahead and click the link in the show notes to check your insurance and book a virtual consult with me. I love helping moms figure out exactly what the root cause of their feeding issue issues are so they can implement solutions that work. I will never just give you Band-Aid fixes without helping you understand the why behind everything we're doing. Because as a new mom, I feel like the hardest thing is sitting around wondering why. Okay, maybe the lactation consultant at the hospital told me, here, this is what you can do to help your baby latch better. But I want to know why we're having a hard time latching in the first place. And if that sounds like you, if you are wondering why this is so difficult and you've tried these easy little fixes and they're not working, then let's work together and figure out the why so we can figure out the how we fix it intentionally and without throwing spaghetti at the wall, without trying all the things that don't work first. I hope you found this episode helpful. And if you have any questions that you want featured on the podcast, go ahead and send me an email or a DM on Instagram. And I would be so happy to feature your question on an upcoming episode of the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast. All right, Mama Bear, that is a wrap for today. If this episode helped you feel a little more confident or a little more prepared for breastfeeding, can I ask you a quick favor? Go ahead and leave me a review. It helps other moms find this podcast and join us in this amazing community of fierce and confident mama bears. And hey, if you know a friend who could use some encouragement or real talk about pregnancy, breastfeeding, and all things motherhood, share this episode with her. You've got this, Mama Bear. Trust your instincts, stay fierce, and I'll catch you in the next episode.